Well, happy holidays, Stoppies.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We've all been very bad this year.
We're ready to give you a gift.
We sure are. That's what we're here for. A nice little gift. A lump of coal, if you will.
The way that herpes can be a gift. In a sense that you do give it to someone.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest.
Yes, our guest who's here today, Nick Ortolani.
Hello.
Yeah, local man about town, local mustache about town, Nick Ortolani.
Mustache about town.
Fantastic comedian, writer for the Hard Times.
Mm-hmm.
Honored to have him on the cast.
Quite an honor. Why don't you brag about yourself for a second?
Oh, why would I ever do that?
Yeah. I mean, obviously you've made some terrible decisions if you've ended up here on this podcast with us right now.
Yeah. Well, it all started 12 years ago.
At the University of Massachusetts.
To call it a school would be a grand overstatement.
Yeah, we go way back with Nick. We've had some good memories, but he's really making a name for himself these days, and we're very proud of him.
Yeah,
Aww.
doing my best.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You just had a big show the other day, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wrapped yourself in wrapping paper?
Yes, my fiance and I, Katie McCarthy, we love doing holiday shows, and we always try to make them super weird, and they always have their own kind of weird internal mythology to them. So this year we introduced the new holiday tradition of the Christmas egg. which hatched a Christmas demon at the end of the show.
As they do.
Yeah,
so you hatched the Christmas demon, which has manifested itself as the album that we are reviewing today.
Oh, tell me about it, yeah.
So
yes, thank you, Stoppies. We really appreciate the gift that you've given us of having to review Lulu by Lou Reed and Metallica this week. This is certainly...
It's bad. It's a bad thing. Yeah, you really hate us. You hate us. You really hate us. Thank you, Stoppies. You made another really great decision here. You gave us the Return of Bruno, was our Thanksgiving, and this now, the time of Yule.
So this is Lou Reed and Metallica, a pairing no one thought would ever happen until suddenly the news came out, 2011.
That nobody asked to happen. Nobody wanted to happen. Nobody...
Well, let me ask you guys this. Are you fans of the individual work of Lou Reed or the Velvet Underground? Are you fans of Metallica? How do you feel about the folks involved in this?
Because if you're a fan of either of those things, this is nothing like either of those things.
It's like, do you like peanut butter and jelly? Here's a Trump University degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody asked for it, nobody wanted it, and yet here we are, inexplicably.
You like peanut butter and jelly? Well, here's both of them left on the beach.
Here's toothpaste and orange juice.
Yeah, I feel like I needed some toothpaste and orange juice, some astringent to wash out the sins of listening to this album. This is truly bad.
But no, for real, do you guys like Metallica? Let's get the
that's important.
Here.
I think it sounds like constipated jock metal.
Metallica in general.
That being said, it's not bad sometimes.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Nick, do you like Metallica?
I like their first 3 albums a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of fall off after Master of Puppets. I don't want to be someone... Because I don't think of myself as a purist, but I feel like the band takes a noticeably different direction when they lose Cliff Burton, and you kind of realize that he was...
Ooh. We got a name dropper.
I feel like Cliff... they're all musicians, but I feel like there's something about
It's good to remind our listeners that they are musicians. That originally all of the people involved in this were musicians.
Yes. Yeah. I think we can officially revoke their musician cards after this album. But
yes.
I don't know. These are definitely the most talented musicians that we've reviewed on this program so far.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like Lou Reed and I like the Velvet Underground too.
Same. I like Metallica. I like the Velvet Underground. I haven't listened to too much solo Lou Reed, but I like Transformer.
Transformer's great. Lou Reed himself is just all over the place.
Yeah.
And has a track record of just doing projects that nobody likes.
Right, like Metal Machine music, which we'll probably do on the show
Definitely.
eventually.
Yeah. That was the album that came to mind when I was thinking about Lou Reed terrible albums.
But then Metallica also has Saint Anger and Load and Reload and
Saint Anger's.
This was right after Death Magnetic. which was not good either necessarily, but it was better than Saint Anger. But I'm with you, Nick. I liked Injustice for All, but I don't think Metallica's made a great album since the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
I don't know what it is.
Hey.
That's fair.
The point is, we can all agree that we hate this album.
Yes.
Right, okay, great.
Hands down.
The great equalizer.
As a fan of both bands, this is such a bummer.
Yeah.
It's
like, this
really-
counts in both of their discographies.
Well,
like,
and that's why it was so, like, fascinating, because people really reacted, like, overwhelmingly negatively to this album. I mean, it was like being told you had, like, a birthday party and then your cake is made out of dog food and nobody's there. You know, like, it's so disappointing, because everybody's okay, this could work. You know, they wouldn't put something
I never thought it could work.
Okay,
when I heard about it, I was like, no.
it's like a birthday party where everyone is clowns.
Oh man, yeah. So I read in the Wikipedia entry about this album that the recording was problematic at times, with Lars Ulrich admitting that at one point Lou Reed challenged him to a street fight, which is so hilarious to think about. Like, just this like knobby little like elf grandpa, like all,
And then Lou Reed.
and then yeah, exactly.
I would be pissed if I was them. Everyone involved.
Yeah.
You've got to.
But is that the moment where you just say, okay, like, we're done here? You know what I mean?
I think maybe they were in too deep. Maybe they were in too deep. But at some point,
Who
I'm
lost
sure
a
that
bet?
they all realized over the course of the recording that this was bad, right? Like, maybe not Lou Reed. I feel like Lou Reed maybe was a little too far gone at this point. This was probably his whole idea.
Let's not make any mistakes. Lou Reed would have done exactly this in any room he was put in.
Oh man.
Oh, it's Uncle Lou again. Old Uncle Lou, just, yeah.
There he goes, talking about blowjobs all grossly again.
Just mumbling under his breath.
Well, that's what's so weird about this album, is that it is a long-term realization of all the themes Lou Reed has worked with his entire career, and it's such a great example.
Yeah, but like magnetic poetry style. Like, just kind of like, ugh.
Well, it's such a great example of, like, he's got the same brain, but he is so past his artistic peak that, like...
Yeah. And actually, who knows if did he have the same brain at that point? I mean, he died pretty soon after that, right?
Yeah, he died 2 years after this.
Rest in peace, buddy. But I gotta wonder, you know. But anyway, let's quit talking about all this stuff, and let's get into the good stuff. And by the good stuff, I mean the bad stuff. Ugh. And by the bad stuff, I mean here, my friends.
Track
my
1.
Stoppies is track 1.
Brandenburg Gate.
Yeah. I will say that this album has been responsible for like so many genuine laugh out loud moments where I don't know if I even laugh out loud anymore. I think I just like say LOL so many times. Like, I don't think I laugh out loud very often, but this album just...
It's really funny.
It's
and it starts pretty immediately.
Yeah.
The delivery of the lines, every line, it's like, first of all, it's got the same sort of just come out of nowhere random placement over the music as Farrah Abraham.
I know, exactly. It's just aggressively offbeat. It's like fuck you, fuck a beat.
Aggressively offbeat, aggressively out of key.
Yeah.
Just it's
the background music and the mood of the song don't match in any universe.
Yeah.
It's
probably the most striking thing about how awful this album is Lou Reed's atrocious vocals.
Yeah.
And they just they often don't sound like they were recorded in the same studio
or in the same fucking
and they're
universe.
So loud.
Oh, yeah, very loud. There's nothing. Yeah, there's no gentle like reverb on this. There's no there's no pity reverb going on.
His vocals are completely unedited and unchanged.
Yeah,
because it's quite clear who wore the pants in this relationship. Okay, Lou Reed was definitely the one calling all the shots.
For sure.
And starting all the street fights. I want to start a street fight after listening.
I want to start a street fight, but only with Lars Ulrich.
I mean, I think if there's anyone's ass that Lou Reed could kick, it's Lars Ulrich.
That's probably true. Yeah,
Men
God,
of a certain height.
And James Hetfield with his like sniveling, straining. I'm still here.
Yeah, it's really awkward.
Pay attention to me.
I feel like with the small town girl thing, like I don't think he wanted to do that. I feel like Lou Reed was like, "All right, James, you do the hook on this." Oh, okay.
God. What was it?
How many times do you think like Lou Reed really like nudged Hetfield and tried to get like a certain product? Like Hetfield was like, How about this, Lou? Small town girl. And he's like, no, that's not. It's like, oh, well, how about this, Lou? Small town girl. Oh, that's perfect, James.
Do that 28 times.
In fact, let's not even have you sing it. Let's just take that one clip of you yelling at me to the microphone.
I just want you to sound like you're really, really, really having a strained bowel movement throughout the entire time.
You know, your style.
AKA, yeah, who you are.
It sounds like they're in like another universe. But I actually read that they recorded this album all in the same room staring at each other in a circle.
Oh, well, that explains
it. Was this like a therapy like thing? Like someone was like, okay, this is your end of life, like kind of like therapy, Lou. Like, what are the things you still want to accomplish?
I have a feeling Lou Reed just decided he wanted to make a band with an album with a metal band, and Metallica was the only metal band he'd ever heard of.
He was like, hey, they have metal in the name, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll grab them up. What are they doing?
He probably used the word Metallica as an adjective and someone misunderstood him.
Then he's like, well, I'll work with it.
I mean, like, this album starts out with like a fairly nice guitar riff, and it's impressive.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. I said the first few tentative jangling chords are the most pleasant part of this entire album.
Yeah, it's insane how quickly this album ruins your faith in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said the only thing that these artists have in common is hating their audience. Actively despising
We
them.
forgot to mention that this album is 90 minutes long.
Oh, yeah, sorry, guys.
It's 90
Which, speaking of which, we should probably wrap
minutes.
this one up and keep going, because we got a lot to go through,
Let's go into track 2.
We're not doing 90 minutes of this album.
Yeah, but it's... All right.
Track
Here's
2.
The View.
I am the view. I am the table. I am the view. I am the table. I am all this. I am the root. The progress. The aggressor. I am the table. I am the tent store.
Wait, did you hear that I was a table, guys? Did you guys know? Who's the table? I'm the table.
You guys know that this
table? Who's the little table?
Who's the little table? I am the table. So fucking bad, guys.
So this was actually the single they released before the album came out, and it immediately became a meme. I don't know if you guys knew about that.
I didn't know that. Educate us.
I mean, just search James Hetfield. Just search "I Am the Table." There's a Know Your Meme entry on it.
Oh my god.
It immediately. I mean, this just became a thing.
Oh yeah, there is. There's a Know Your Meme page. I am the table, and it's just pictures of James Hetfield. What does this say? They said I could be anything, so I became a table. Yeah, see, this is the result of people that have just been told that they can do anything. And they have not been told no. Oh my god.
Would you say that this entire
pictures
album...
of tables with his face on it?
This is so good, guys. Definitely do a nice little Google, okay?
Yeah, it's worth Googling.
All right.
This album should be the picture entry next to the dictionary definition for white mediocrity. It's like
yes. Well, that seems to be the uniting thread to almost all of the albums that we've reviewed so far. It's all been white people that have never been told no. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the majority of bad music.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's bad everything, to be honest. Fuck white people. All right. So, just bad. All my notes are just so confused, and
This song is like one of the few songs that actually sounds like a Metallica song.
Yes, it's more than 3 chords, which most of the songs in this album are like 2 or 3 chords.
Yeah, they're like all drone notes. It's insane.
Yeah, which kind of shows, I think some of these songs, like, it's clear Lou Reed wrote all the lyrics, right? Like,
for
but
sure,
I think he might have written some of the chord progressions too, and just been like, here guys, Metallica eyes this.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like a band that, like, Metallica doesn't sound like a band that's like found its groove or found any kind of synergy.
No, it's very awkward. The discomfort is palpable.
For sure.
Of Metallica.
Do you think he ordered Lars Ulrich to do that drum solo?
Yes, definitely.
Oh,
we'll get to the drum solo.
That's later. Oh,
I know, seriously. Yeah, I wrote, one of my notes was, like, if Grandpa and Otto from The Simpsons formed a band.
Grandpa Simpson and Otto?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
That's what it is.
Well, I've said it. I said it earlier, but like one of the most striking things about how bad this album is how awful Lou Reed's vocals are.
Oh God!
And he survived for so long because like Lou Reed, like 60s, 70s, even 80s.
He's like Bob Dylan. He's not a singer.
Got that, like,
he's a bard. Some like.
He's got that like smarmy kind of like I'm too fucking good for you. Yeah. Like, I'm waiting for my... Like, this really nasal, like, projection of I'm a cool guy that at this point in his career...
Too busy sucking on a ding-dong.
And it's completely eroded at this point in his career. Like, he has the vocal charisma of, like, a retired state senator.
It's like
Newt Gingrich.
Who was the old senator who did the speech about the dog fighting where he was just like... Poor dog. Genitals dangling. That's pretty much Lou Reed on this album.
Yeah.
That is.
And actually, especially the genitals dangling. There's a lot of genital talk from my ornery grandpa that I didn't invite to start yelling at me over Metallica riffs.
He's always had a lot of lyrics about dicks and pussies.
Well, we should probably continue on with the next song about dicks.
Real quick before we do, I just I took down a couple lyrics that really hit home for me on this song.
Good.
You know, where he's talking about for worship someone who actively despises you.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling that.
It's clear that they actively despised each other, themselves, and certainly anybody who would listen to this.
The line where he's like a magnet, I attract you and repel you. Mostly just repel.
Yeah, mostly repel.
All right,
is that a magnet?
I can barely remember any lyrics from this album because that's how quickly I deleted it from my short-term memory.
I know. I did a couple copy and paste, and then I was like, I don't want this in my search history.
Yeah, you don't want it on your clipboard.
I've like ruined my search history cred. It's all just terrible.
Have you ever been aware that you're repressing a memory in the moment? Like that's what listening to this album was.
Oh. All right. Well, let's keep it going. This one is Pumping Blood.
Pumping Blood.
I'd often wonder would you take the measure of the blood that I pump and the manic confusion of love.
That is Love-matic Grandpa right there. And then inexplicably, then a Metallica song.
Yeah, I was gonna say the riffs on this song are actually pretty sick.
Yeah, I said the same.
Better than most of the riffs on the last 5 Metallica albums.
Yeah, I said it starts off pretty strong here in the sense that it sounds like a half decent Metallica song, which is true.
But then there's this slower
love. That sounds like Grandpa Simpson's.
Yeah, and it's like nobody ever no one was like, second take? Should we do a second take?
No, there are no second takes with Lou Reed.
Latex condom. Boy, I'd like to live in one of those.
Yeah, I said
actual lyric from this album or a quote from Grandpa Simpson.
You decide. Oh yeah, hashtag. Is that our hashtag for today's episode? Hashtag. Wait, hashtag Grandpa
Lou Reed or Grandpa Simpson.
Wait, so vote for hashtag Lou Reed or wait. I don't know. It was fun.
I think maybe just we'll post some up on the Twitter
at
Make It Stopcast.
Yeah,
I'll post up some, and you guys tell me if you think they're
or Lou.
Abe or Lou.
Nice. Yes. Yeah, I said Lou sounds ill, like he's an actual vampire that is looking for his last hit of blood before dying.
He's just warbling, pumping blood.
Yeah.
Please, I need a transfusion. Pump the blood. blood into me.
Please, yes. Save my life.
Which would justify the Nosferatu and Boris Karloff references in the first song.
Oh, no, that's just to tell you, oh, hey, by the way, did you know this album is set in Germany?
Oh, yeah.
Really, it's like...
This is German and old.
If I mention Nosferatu and Klaus Kinski, oh, they'll get the gist.
Yeah.
And call the first song Brandenburg Gate.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But yeah, there's like pretty sick riffs in this song, but then there's the slower instrumental passages where Lars Ulrich has no idea what to do, so he just smashes his China cymbals.
Yeah.
There's like...
I feel like nobody was briefed before the making of this. Like, I don't think there was...
It's the cymbals over and over again, and you think he's like counting down to something.
Nope, and
It
it's...
just never happened.
That is the ultimate metaphor for this entire album. It feels like a countdown to something that'll never exist, and there's still always lower to go.
You guys, like, I'm glad Sorry, go ahead.
This is like a musical representation of not being able to come on Lexapro. Like, it's just...
Well, speaking of cum...
Speaking of cum.
This is...
First of all, it is a drink.
Cum is
a drink.
Secondly.
No, but I want to point out that this is the song that has the lyric, quote, like a colored man's big dick spurting on me.
Ugh.
He says it more than once.
Yes,
yeah,
he
and
does.
like Lou Reed kind of got like a collective pass from, Lola, right? Or not, oh my God, not Lola.
Take a walk on the wild
yeah,
side.
the other song about the prostitute. Okay, yeah, take a walk.
There's
on
a
the,
few.
Yeah, there's a few. But
most
I mean, this entire
Yeah,
album,
most of the
actually,
songs.
that's important to mention is that this entire album is based off of an early 1900s or late 1800s.
Two German plays.
German plays, right?
Called, like,
about
Lulu plays.
Yeah,
right.
The Lulu plays by...
Wow, you guys
Google it.
did some
Google it.
research. What's it about? It's about
a stripper who rises through the social ranks and becomes a socialite and then becomes a prostitute, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Couldn't you tell?
Yeah. But it makes you feel like Lou Reed only picked these because the title is his name twice. Like, he was so in the throes of dementia at this point that he could.
Yeah, when dementia meets narcissism, man. Oh, look, it's our president.
But guys, best song in the album, right? Puppy Blood.
No, that's no.
No?
I mean,
You guys make your picks when they come around. This is my fave.
that
I have a
implies that there
favorite.
is a best song, and I don't know if that exists. But yeah, I mean, I
the
call
least
this
bad.
tone deaf, tone blind, and tone dumb. It's like, and also, yeah, like, it's such an improbable, like, it's like having Bob Dylan and Kanye do an album, right? It's like the biggest egos, and then smushing them together and saying, okay, make an album about a prostitute, maybe.
Yeah, do a rock opera while you're at it.
Yeah,
Like,
while you're at it. Actually, I'd love to see that.
That's probably one of the more significant things about this too, is that like, have either of these artists done like work that was like a full album that was conceptual, full album that was designed to tell one story? Metallica definitely hasn't, right?
No.
No.
I mean, unless you count Saint Anger, where all the songs are about being angry. But
when you count all of their songs ever, like all their songs are about being angry and trapped
and death.
Yeah.
Well,
Lou Reed, I don't know. I mean, Lou Reed also has like 40 albums or something.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
probably does have a few concept albums in there. Like, I just haven't sought them out.
and for good reason. Let's move on to the next song, which is appropriately called Mistress Dread, which I think is my name now.
In your side. Let me in your side.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's so weird hearing Lou Reed sound like the ghost of Christmas past over this thrash song. This is your grandpa in the pit.
Oh my god.
Do you think he recorded this entire album in a bathrobe, just wandering from room to room?
And then with the occasional James Hetfield, small town girl.
Just pops his head in the door. That's what it feels like when James Hetfield comes in on this album. Is like, hey, I'm here too.
What if they just recorded this entire album following Lou Reed around with a boom mic, just like recording all of his ramblings, and it just like ended up being 90 minutes, and they were like, all right, score it now, guys.
We could make a documentary about, but let's just do this.
Field recordings of him talking to himself in his kitchen making scrambled eggs.
No, he eats scrambled blood for breakfast, let's be clear.
I mean, holy shit, the lyrics.
Scrambled cum.
The first lyrics in this song are, I would cut my legs and tits off when I think of Boris Karloff. Which sounds like it's the opening line to like the worst cabaret musical ever heard. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-ba.
So, I mean, this is another song where there's a lot of gross line. Like, I feel like I see what Lou Reed is doing. He's going for some, like, body horror sort of, like how disgusting, our fluids and bodies are and stuff. But it's just...
He does have
Metallica
a scary body.
There's nothing about Metallica that matches that.
I know. I wrote, remember when Johnny Cash redid a Nine Inch Nails song and it sounded really poignant and powerful and then he won an Oscar? Well, this is the opposite of that.
I was talking today, like, this album is just such a fucking bummer, front to back.
Yeah.
Yep.
A bummer just filled with gross lyrics and lack of musical cohesion. Like, you can make a dark, depressing album at least, like, palatable and fun. Like, The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails is a great album that is, like, depressing and awful and dark, but, like, it keeps you engaged, and this is the polar opposite.
There are... Velvet Underground albums that have that vibe, Like,
oh, yeah.
He knows he's pulled it off in the past.
I mean, he was definitely dying at the time.
Yeah.
Should we be so mean to this?
I know, I realize that now. I'm like, fuck. But, like, he decided to do this.
This is what
happens. And that's the thing. I said, why do famous people think that they can get away with everything? Like, this is just an example of that. Like, I don't care how old he was. He decided that this was important. This mattered enough for him to, release this. It's like releasing a plague.
Well, this is like what happens.
Like,
when
we had like David Bowie had Black Star, right? Like Iggy Pop put out like post-pop depression, right? And then we have this, like, dude.
Yeah, this was his swan song.
Do better.
This was his swan song. This is the last thing he ever did.
Ugh.
Well, it's like this.
But that's like how Orson Welles was. His last film was Transformers the movie, where he did. I don't remember the name of the robot, the bad guy robot in Transformers the movie.
Oh no!
And he hated it. He was just he was like, this is a movie about toys doing horrible things to each other.
I'm going to play a robot in a movie.
So this is kind of it's just a bummer that Lou Reed made a terrible mistake before he died.
I know.
Well, I think this is such a great example of what happens when you're wealthy enough that no one has to put you in a nursing home.
Exactly.
In some sense, though...
Exactly.
Like, you're just allowed to roam
brutal,
free.
But it's true.
In some sense, though, maybe Lou Reed did want to go out just saying, fuck you to everyone.
I know.
That's what this album
that is kind of where I find its redeeming qualities. Like, I feel like there are elements of it. I mean, there are multiple elements of it that, I call it like the monkeys with the typewriters. Like, there's occasionally some glimpses of brilliance, and then part of me is like, was that the intentional part, or what about this was intentional?
Yeah, and was it intentional? Did he intentionally want to alienate
everybody and
the fans of his bands and the fans of Metallica and just make them confused and upset? Because that is how I feel.
Confused and upset, betrayed.
Except it seems so earnest.
I know.
Like, it seems...
Well, and he's a pretty fucking serious guy.
Yeah,
like, he takes himself way too goddamn seriously.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday about how, like, he's like Danzig in that he has, like, such a small sense of humor about himself that it's imperceptible.
I want to see Danzig and Taylor Swift do an album.
Oh my god.
That's how I feel like this album is.
Danzig and Taylor Swift.
That's about the
degrees,
level. That's the degrees of separation.
Yes.
Similar to Lou Reed and Metallica.
All right,
Haters gonna hate.
All right, we got some more songs we gotta get through, and I mean it when I say get through. So this next track, if you can call it that, is Iced Honey.
See if the ice will melt for you. See if the ice will melt for you. See if the ice will melt for you. See if the
touches.
Yeah. Those unwanted touches. Yeah. I know.
That clip is such a great example of how, like, no one was working with each other.
No, exactly. Like poor James Hetfield just wanted everyone to remember, like, notes and tempo do exist. They exist in the world.
James Hetfield and Lou Reed are singing the exact same words in completely different rhythms and completely different
Lou Reed is
melodies.
insistent on being off the beat. Like, it is, you have him in the as honey. Like, he's like counting at 1, 2, 3, and then as honey.
He's staring across the room, like nodding his
staring
head,
at
slapping,
Lou Reed,
beating a box with a drumstick, just being like, "Please,
come on,
tea and the ice, 3, 4, 5." But yeah, he sounds really uncomfortable.
Also, what
confused.
is iced honey? Is that just sugar?
I don't know, but they say it. That's all they say in the song. Like, there's a lot of lyrics on the other songs. It's, you know, they have to stretch every song out to be fucking 10 minutes long to fit in all these,
which we haven't
gross lines.
moved into that
Lou
part
Reed.
of the album. We're very close to that part. So it's a 2-disc set.
Yeah.
And the second disc is almost all songs that are 8 to 20 minutes long.
It's a longer CD with fewer tracks. Like, it's.
But this song is, I think, the shortest on the album, and it's
mercifully.
It is actually just them saying "Ice honey" over and over again for the whole second half of it. Just, you know, why?
Yeah, and like so many of the lyrics in this song, like, move away from the realm of avant-garde and into just straightforward Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Oh, and also,
like, get off
the
my
song
lawn.
is 2 chords.
Yeah.
The song is 2 chords. Mm-hmm. It's the only 2-chord Metallica song that's ever been written.
Ice honey.
Tea in the ass.
All right, is that enough?
Yeah, there's really not much to say about that song.
About it. You heard it. That's where we're at. All right, we got our next song. This is "Cheat on Me." This one's pretty special.
Me, I'm a passionate less wave upon the sea. Passionate less wave upon the sea. Why? You cheat on me. Why? Do I cheat on the sea?
Why indeed?
Why do I cheat on me?
Those are some of my favorite parts of this album. Are like Lou Reed's. There's not a lot. There's like 5 or 6 of them on the album, but there's a couple of times where Lou Reed is just like, why.
Yeah, when he's seizing. Yeah, my favorite parts of the album is like when the like recording skips, or when like I said the mystical atmospheric part at the beginning of the song, which you didn't hear because we had to give you that you know.
The cheat on me.
No, we cut to. Oh yeah.
Oh wait, we had harmonies. We just shouldn't do that. Stop it. That was far too good. But yeah, that was a nice palate cleanser. The intro was nice.
I mentioned the intro too.
But it's 3 minutes long, and I was like, I must be high because I didn't notice that this little intro was 3 fucking minutes long.
But it was good. But it was a lot of like atmospheric noise and like strings.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Well, this is the consistent thing we've said about this album is that this album is best when no one involved with it is in the room.
Yes, I wrote the same fucking thing.
Yes, I think I said, oh man, yeah, I said some version of that, which was, I do enjoy Metallica minus James Hetfield, but not plus Lou Reed. So just like minus everything, like it's fine.
I also said that the vocal delivery by James Hetfield when he sings, you know, "Why do I cheat on me?" It sounds like he's just pushing out a particularly stubborn shit.
And also, like, and just somebody answer the goddamn question so that we can move on.
There's 3 central questions to this song. Why do you cheat on me? Why do I cheat on me? And why do I cheat on thee?
No, shut up. That is not the word.
Those are the words.
Those are the words.
No,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, like some bizarre European prostitute Sesame Street.
It's like one of those YouTube fucking kids channels made by like Nightmares and China.
Yeah, where you're learning like the proper pronouns when asking a question or something.
Yeah, I wrote in all caps, will somebody just answer Grandpa? Like, I can just picture it. Really does. It is the
No one knows why you cheat on you, Grandpa. Nobody knows.
It's fine, Grandpa.
It's fine. You can
you
cheat
are
on
home.
you.
Well then, why do I cheat on thee?
Can I go home now? Grandpa, you are home.
This is the first song you were talking about how it's. I called this back half of the album the endless portion of the album.
Yeah. Yep. This is the disc 2 where it's kind of like it's like the appendix that like nobody asked for, so it's just you can conveniently lose it if you.
I do have to mention for context that the version of this that I listened to was just the first CD and the second CD completely unbroken into tracks. So to me, the entire album is just 2 45-minute songs. Like it's just.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the context that you entered into this with. It is 2 45-minute songs. It's really 1.5 hour song.
Yeah.
This is the length of a movie. Stoppies, okay?
Yeah.
We let you do this to. Why do you cheat on me?
Why do I cheat on thee?
Oh man. No, but this is the part of the album where like I found myself hitting the home button on my phone just to see how many minutes were left, like 6 times over the course of a single song.
Too many. It's like taking acid where you're like, time isn't real. Like
this was one of the biggest endurance tests of the whole album.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing exciting about it musically.
No.
It just plods along.
Yep.
And nothing changes.
Nope.
Other than the first 3 minutes of this track.
It's a metaphor for life, isn't it, really? Oh, what do you... Okay.
And luckily for Lou Reed, that life would not last much longer.
Unfortunately, the rest of us are...
This has turned into a real epitaph for Lou Reed.
I know. Well, it does. It sounds like a senile old man lecturing you the entire album.
This is his...
And that's pretty appropriate for what he did in here on this earth, was like kind of lecture all of us and call us fucking idiots, and maybe we are. Here we are waxing philosophic about it years later after most people desperately wanted to pretend that this album didn't exist.
Like if everyone's obituary could only include information from the past 5 or 10 years, Lou Reed's obituary would have been writer of Lulu with Metallica.
It's true. Oh my god, it's true. Ugh. Yeah, and it just gets more endless, folks. We should probably move it along. And this song is aptly called Frustration.
To be dead, to have no feeling, to be dry and spermless, like a girl, like a girl.
That might be the single most concentrated moment of shittiness in this entire album.
Yeah, like if they're, I mean, spermless, yes, dry. What the fuck? We're not talking about
you know how women are always dry.
Chicken. Like, come on.
You know how women are always dry and dusty and crumble when you touch them.
Also, like about that particular portion of the song, Lars Ulrich is not the guy you want doing a freeform jazz drum solo under your spoken word.
I guess the one part of that, like the one thing about that part of the album, that part of the song, is that it's just the album being so honest with nobody working together and nobody, like, it's just like, all right, Lars is going to play arrhythmically and Lou's going to do something he would do outside in traffic anyway.
I do wish this was like a documentary, because I feel like it would have been fucking hysterical to like watch.
Oh, no, it would have been so
There's
sad
enough
to watch.
Metallica documentaries.
Yeah,
if we had watched them make this album, we would have really seen like how far gone Lou Reed was at the time.
Yeah, this is definitely the part of the album where like most of my comments are just all caps locks. Why have you done this to me? Why is this still occurring? Will someone just answer Grandpa?
Your question wasn't, why do I cheat on me?
Oh yeah. Also, why do I cheat on thee? Tell me more. It's.
I do think there's a kind of nice riff in this song, but like once again, this is like just the theme of the album. It's the same riff the whole time.
Yeah.
Metallica will just do the same. You know, it's so many 3-chord riffs. It's just they don't. They're so out of their comfort zone. They're trying to find, because I mean most Lou Reed songs are like pretty simple 3-4 chord tracks, and I feel like they're trying to find common ground with each other, and it's just there's none. There's none. There's nothing that links them.
And then, Lou Reed is doing this offbeat, like, fucked up nursery rhyme, like, talking about salivating in a woman's thighs.
Yeah.
Oh, did we pick that?
Oh, no, but that's from this. I wrote that line down.
There's some wild lines on this. Like, I feel like I can't recommend anyone listen to this album, but I do. You might want to just look up the lyrics and just. It's something.
I would recommend listening to this album.
You would?
Would you really?
Well, just because, we all need to earn our stripes in life.
Yeah, if you haven't, like, experienced, like, a significant, like, trauma in your life, then maybe this is definitely...
everyone in the 1% should
this
be
is
forced to listen to
prescribed
this album.
Yes.
Oh, man.
So true. Okay. All right. Shall we go on to Little Dog?
I also noticed there's one part... And this lends credence to my idea that they just use the first take of the lyrics for every song. Because Lou Reed at one point says, he keeps repeating, "I want so much to hurt you." And then at one point he says, "I want you so much to hurt you." Like, flubbing his own line, not even bothering to go back and redo it.
Oh, yeah.
I want you so much to hurt you.
Maybe that was intentional.
No.
Right?
No.
Just like with this whole album. You don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, this whole album is a real mystery when it comes to like intent.
Yes,
right. And he's not around to answer to it.
How much it was planned out, or like,
right.
And even if he was around, he wouldn't answer a single fucking question about this.
That's probably true. I mean, Bowie fucking said that he thinks that this was Lou Reed's masterpiece, and that
Bowie loved this album.
Bowie loved this album. But that
Fantano
also makes me
gave
think,
it a 6.
That makes me think that he was also making fun of all of us. Like, it was just a giant troll.
Wasn't Bowie also dying of brain cancer or something?
Oh, fair point. Jesus,
no, I don't think. Was it brain cancer?
I don't know.
I think it was. I don't know.
No.
What do I look like? Some David Bowie cancer expert?
It was one of his internal organs. I can't remember which one.
Well, that would be a brain.
No, in his abdomen.
Okay.
One of his abdominal organs.
All right. Well, I'm getting cancer just talking about this, so let's move it on to Little Dog.
Little Dog.
Oh, God. This one's really bad.
The female dog don't care what you got, as long as you can raise that little doggy face to a cold-hearted pussy.
I love the
oh my God.
I love the pregnant pause before little doggy face. You could raise that little doggy face to a cold-hearted pussy.
How long is this one? This one's fucking long too.
Yeah, they're all long at this point.
So
they're all very
they're all
really,
like,
and it all sounds like that too. Like, I'm pretty sure the entire one is that entire song is just that. It's the like, like it's just like.
Yeah,
for me,
half-hearted.
Like 4 musicians playing whatever came to their minds at that moment.
No, the guitar part sounds like the guitar part kind of sounds like when someone who can't play guitar,
it's an 8-minute song,
picks up an acoustic guitar at like a party and kind of just does their impression of what playing guitar looks like.
Yeah, it's like tuning. It's like a band.
Yeah, it's like
tuning.
This whole album feels like tuning.
Yeah, like they're getting ready to do a thing that will be good, and like, oops, we just forgot to do
This is the worst song on the album, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
This one's
pretty
bad. Can you imagine seeing this being performed live?
And
it feels like 90 minutes of them just warming up and tuning, and then at the end they walk off stage.
Yeah.
And then also with
This is
like
the closer.
a full performance, like like of the original Lulu play about the prostitute like going
like holy shit.
I would love it would make me so happy if I went to see Metallica and they just came out for an encore and just did this song.
Yeah, with a whole like Wojciecki like bowler hat like Tom Waits like production behind him, except like Tom Waits would tell Lou Reed to get singing lessons at this point.
So what do the dogs represent in this song?
I don't know.
I don't give a fuck, actually.
Yeah, actually.
Does anything represent anything?
Well, he keeps talking about this dog. He's got a lot of fucking beef with this dog. Puny body and a tiny dick. A little dog.
Maybe that dog is him. Maybe he's relating it to his diminishing potency and power.
He wants to lift his little doggy face to a cold-hearted pussy.
Yes, he does. He definitely does.
He's the pathetic little dog. Oh, that's sad then.
Oh, I know. That was part of the thinking that I was having while going over this album. I was like, oh, it starts to feel like it's about him, right? And like. So that's when it starts to cross the line into maybe there was intent behind it. But
you start to feel like it's about him until you realize that he just kind of sucks. Like he's
it's true. I don't know.
I'm not going to lie. This album almost makes you happy Lou Reed dies 2 years later.
Oh, Jesus.
Spoiler alert, guys.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. Lou Reed died almost 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, no, it's bad.
I'm not happy Lou Reed died.
I'm not happy.
I didn't want him to make more than
Lou
this.
Reed
What if he made more albums like this?
I'm not happy Lou Reed died, but I'm happy that justice was served.
Fuck. All right, moving on.
All right, we're moving on. This one is called Dragon.
Oh, no.
It's just so bad. Here we go.
So bad.
A red star of idiocy. An idiocy. My, caring for you. You think we're a foot. Some kind of a table you can rest your feet on when you're able.
There we go again with the tables.
We had to do the table callback, although we missed the smell of your armpits, the taste of your vulva, and everything on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were looking for, but then we stopped caring.
We couldn't find it. Because this is like a 13-minute song. We couldn't find the one specific set of gross lyrics we were looking for.
Again, the lyrics are...
They're atrocious.
There's a lot of ground to cover that we could talk about the fucking...
There's very little difference between what Lou Reed says on this album and like the ramblings of a street person.
Yes.
It's very true.
This is someone mumbling on the corner of a train.
You know what this feels like? It feels like when you go to like a music open mic or a poetry open mic that's been going on for like 10 years, 20 years, and there's like that one guy who does batshit insane stuff, but he goes every week and he wears like the same outfit, and the only reason he has legendary status is like because he's always there and people are worried about him.
Yep. Yeah, that is very specific and also very on point.
I've been to a lot of those things. Also every stand-up comedy open mic ever has some version of that.
Yeah, I love that.
It's probably me at this point.
The song starts with the lyrics, "You don't actually care. You don't actually care. You don't actually care," which I said truer words have not been spoken.
Oh,
Lou.
yeah.
I do not believe that he gave a shit about this part. Like, I don't know. Well, did he ever give a shit?
I think he did at one point.
He gave a shit.
But that is
Velvet Underground is I want to say that they're one of my favorite bands, and I think they're very important and seminal to music as it is today. I think that they changed rock and roll in the most significant way that any band changed rock and roll in the past 50 years. But
this happened.
But they also released White Light, White Heat.
Hey, I like that album.
I know.
They released Squeeze though.
Squeeze is bad.
Yeah.
I love Loaded. Loaded's my favorite.
Yeah, Loaded's good. I like the self-titled one the best. But anyhow,
piercing nipples.
We're talking about bad albums here. Let's get back.
He bites them off.
Yeah, sorry. I would hate to taint the waters with
I scratch your face
good music.
and bite your shoulders. Way above caring. In your Kotex jukebox, which. Would be a great band name. Would be a great band name. I actually love that.
Kotex jukebox.
Oh my god. Are we both dead now?
Yeah,
Yes.
Are we? Yes. Are we dead now?
Your careers are.
Do we at least hope to be?
Your careers are.
Yeah.
It is like, I'll say this about Lou Reed. Lou Reed has had a lot of fuck you moments in his career. Like, we referenced Metal Machine Music earlier, and that's like supposed to be... That's an album that if we were to try to do it here, it would probably be impossible. Because if I remember correctly, it's entirely instrumental.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's all just like dissonant guitar feedback loop tapes for like 70 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's like that's a borderline unreviewable album.
We could still try.
It's hard. It's hard the way that like Monos: The Hands of Fate is hard.
Yeah,
to like
without the riff
watch
track.
because it doesn't even give you any ammo to work with.
Right. Because it's just
Lou Reed has kind of gone on record more or less saying that like that album was a big middle finger to his record company because he had like a 5-album deal or something like that, and he was basically like, I guess this is the 5th album. Like he was just like,
he also like
he's got a
likes
lot of
that album though. He was like basically like, yeah, I mean, you know,
I like loud
guitars. Do you want loud guitar stuff? I gave you the loudest guitarist stuff you'll ever hear.
The loudest, most guitar.
Guitarist.
It's like Lou Reed has so many of these fuck you moments, so it is easy to read this as like Lou Reed being like, I've got a lot of time left in this world, and you know, why not bring someone else down with me? Like,
and like really had a grudge against Metallica. Like,
oh my god, what if he like hated Metallica before this, and then waited like 20 years?
To do something about it. This
does feel like a big troll at points. Like I feel like,
but I'm trying to figure out who are we trolling? Are we Is he trolling himself? Is he trolling Metallica? Is he trolling the like?
He says it.
Let's get the conspiracy.
He actively despises us. He's trolling the fans.
Let's get the conspiracy red yarn and the corkboard out right now.
Yes.
I am going to put forth the conspiracy theory right now that this entire album was Lou Reed in 1991 was a big Metallica fan, and they released the Black Album, and then he got really pissed off when they cut their hair and decided he would wait 20 years till shortly before his death to just sink their fucking battleship.
It was like an insurance scam or something, and then peace.
You can't hurt me, I'm already dead.
And like,
I'm now just picturing a version of Lou Reed in the 80s in a metal parking lot in a fucking sleeveless like Megadeth shirt, fucking and a mullet.
He just never.
I wish that Lou Reed existed. Like he probably would have been able to make a dope album with Metallica.
Yeah.
He never forgave them for firing Dave Mustaine.
Yeah. Dave Mustaine wrote all the good solos, man.
Oh, where's the lie?
Kirk stole them.
Where's the lie?
Kirk stole the good solos.
If you stoppies out there have any conspiracy theories about why, how, and why this album was made, please check us out on the Twitter and the Facebooks. On Twitter at Make It Stopcast. You know, give us your thoughts, because we can't make heads and tails out of this.
It's a confusing
monstrosity.
album.
Well, how about the guitar solo on this song? The fucking corduroys rubbing together.
It's confusive. It's confusing and abusive. It's disorienting. It's confusive. It's disorienting enough that you don't know what your own like sense of right and wrong is anymore, or like what.
Yeah, like this is an album that fucks with your morals.
Yeah, exactly. And then it just weasels its way in, and then it's your grandpa fucking reciting like fucking magnetic spoken word poetry at you about you know, ripping off your nipples.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And
of,
here
like,
we are.
Yeah, there's a lot of this like Cronenberg-esque body horror.
Yeah,
that is just
very Cronenberg.
That when placed into the hands of a senile grandfather, just like
it's not cute.
Yeah, it doesn't read as commentary. It reads as testimony.
Yes.
Oh.
So, speaking of testifying, can I get a witness? Because we are almost at the very end.
Oh,
well, here's the thing.
Album.
We're at the last song, but there's still like fucking
20 minutes left.
We're at the last
25% of the album is still.
The last song is 20 minutes long.
It's 20 minutes long.
We got to get into this one.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot going on, and this is 15 seconds of that 20-minute song, so it's a limited view, but we'll give it to you anyway.
Appointment, age with it, I changed him into junior.
Dad. That's the name of the song.
The
guys,
name of the song is Junior Dad.
Junior Dad.
Which sounds
What
like
is Junior Dad?
Yeah, which sounds like a skinny white hip hop duo from Brooklyn. Like
yeah, what is a fucking Junior Dad?
The hip hop project of like trust fund children who needed to fund their poverty.
So everyone in Brooklyn right now.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So I took in my notes 3 minutes 30 seconds. So far, it's 3 chords. I wonder if it will be for the other 16 minutes. And then, oh cool, the orchestra is taking a tuning break because most of this song is an orchestra playing one note, but then at 7:10 I came back in with the note, still 3 chords. Long instrumental passage with no Lou Reed, still 3 chords.
Yep.
I think they hate me.
Yeah,
yep.
I mean, it feels
they
like
definitely hate us.
It feels like a leftover fucking like Chevron ballad or something.
It sounds like the lyrics themselves, which I'm gonna pull these up, but because they're pretty ridiculous. But it sounded like predictive text, like when you're just like pressing on the middle button on your phone. Yeah.
But then most of the song is then the last 8.5 minutes is just the orchestra playing one note. It's just like, hey,
and it's the best part of the entire album.
It's the best trying to tune up.
It's the best part of the album. It's almost like Metallica and Lou Reed kind of like hit their final chords and just walked out of the studio.
Yes, I wrote the same thing.
And left the orchestra in there, and the orchestra was just kind of like, I guess it's up to us to bring this all home. And they just played for 8 more minutes. We've already said it. The best parts of this album are when the band leaves.
Yes. Everybody leaves.
But I'm also I refuse to believe that any human being has ever listened to this song more than once.
Ugh. God, listen to these lyrics. Okay. Won't you pull me up? Scalding, my dead father has the motor and he's driving towards an island of lost souls. Sonny, a monkey, then to monkey. I will teach you meanness, fear, and blindness. No social redeeming kindness, or state of grace.
It also...
Wait, would you still kiss my lips? Hiccup, the dream is over. Get the coffee, turn the lights on, say hello to Junior Dad. The greatest disappointment. That is the most accurate lyric.
Say hello to Dad.
What does that even mean?
More like
yeah, like a tuba played under an outhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just says it ends with the greatest disappointment. The greatest disappointment. Age withered and changed him into Junior Dad. That has to be an autobiographical.
Yeah.
That one's really dark.
So what the fuck does Junior Dad mean, though?
Maybe, this is the best song, huh? You guys...
It really is the best song on the album.
Well, because half of it is an orchestra.
Yeah, it's because...
there's no reason... You can listen to 3 minutes of this song and you get the best song on the album, and then you can stop.
And then you can stop. And actually just play those 3 minutes, and then even that is still probably unacceptable.
So oddly enough, when I was driving here, I was literally finishing listening to this.
You couldn't get up the stamina to just...
And it looped back to the first track.
Yeah.
And it's the same chord progression. Same like key. So this album starts and ends in pretty much the exact same place.
Well, was that intentional?
Shit. Oh, yeah, that was intentional.
I would say that is definitely intentional.
That's kind of cool.
So it's just meant to be played.
Great, guys.
Yeah.
maybe we were all wrong.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's I'm not saying it's some crazy conceptual art piece where you're supposed to like play it on a loop and it just loops back into itself. I'm saying
maybe it is though.
I'm saying they were like, let's start with a C chord and end with a C chord.
I do feel like they only mostly played a C chord throughout this entire album, so maybe it is just accidental.
Yeah, it really. I don't care about the intent because it's just. I'm just remembering. I'm thinking back now and just remembering the frustration and boredom I felt throughout the process of listening to this album.
Right.
You know, like it really.
Frustration
I really
and
could have
boredom,
done without it.
Both song titles.
This album is really funny. I will give it that.
It is funny.
It's a very consistently funny album.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question I have for you guys, because I think it's probably apparent to the listeners right now that I don't think any one of us bought this album.
No, certainly not.
None of us bought this album. None of us own.
I streamed it on Spotify.
So you streamed it on Spotify. We all listen to it in our own special ways. Some of us might have stolen it.
Hey, shush! You shush.
Well, you know what? Maybe Lars Ulrich.
snitching.
Maybe Lars Ulrich shouldn't have destroyed the online music sharing community like 20 years ago. But like,
he's gonna come for us now.
He's gonna come for us. I know. We're just so high on his fucking radar at this point. But like, so none of us own a physical copy of this album. None of us own a physical copy of this album, complete with like a lyric booklet or anything. So do you think if we were to buy a physical copy of this album, do you think it has a lyric booklet? And if not, do you think all the versions of the lyrics of this that are on the internet are just anybody's guess?
Well, yeah, I can't imagine anyone paying enough attention to be able to get all those fucking lyrics.
Or just someone like took their phone and did like speech to text like right up next to their fucking speaker.
I'm not going to rewind the song to catch that lyric I missed. I'm just going to make up what I thought it was.
But there's got to be some people
these lyrics might be fully vetted. I actually just found an article that talks about the lyrics being revealed to Junior Dad and how Metallica lead guitarist Kirk Hammett revealed to Mojo that he and frontman James Hetfield were both brought to tears during the sessions for the band's upcoming collaborative album with Lou Reed. And then, so this is upcoming, so this is before everybody. It was
man, they were getting everyone hyped up for Junior Dad.
It was like the audio Challenger flight.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was just like when we heard that line about the monkey, we just burst into tears.
Well, yeah, apparently the lyrics that got to the two metal men were "Say hello to Junior Dad, the greatest disappointment, age withered and changed him." So.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how that's some real shit. I mean, that is
a pretty powerful lyric.
That's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
But this album just constantly tricks you into thinking it's going to be good and then just ruins your faith in it.
There's little things that you can latch onto of like, oh, that was artistic. Oh, that was, probably had some cool intent behind it, but it's... The overall effect of this album is fatigue and disappointment. On me.
It's like
Metallica's publicly supported this completely. So did Lou Reed.
I'm sure. You can't trash your own work.
I know, but
Metallica definitely would never trash their own work.
Oh yeah,
they've released so many albums that people fucking took issue with for one reason or another, as right or wrong as they may be, metalheads being as opinionated as they are. But they've never apologized for. I don't think they haven't apologized for Saint Anger.
They're arguably Reload, the least self-aware band ever.
They haven't apologized for suing kids for downloading their music,
for millions.
Going
of
on
dollars.
a crusade against fucking Napster.
Yeah.
I
tipping their tour bus and
this
killing
album.
Cliff Burton.
Oh shit, Nick!
Wait, what?
Stop it!
Are we getting too spicy?
Yeah, they all sat on that side of the bus so we'd fall out the window.
We're gonna die now. Some metalhead is gonna come find us.
Interesting side note. When Cliff Burton got crushed by that tour bus, they were raising the tour bus off of him with a crane, and the crane snapped and dropped it on him a second time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Oh yeah, Cliff Burton basically died twice.
Jesus, is this how we're gonna wrap up this?
Yeah, I know we have to wrap this up.
Let's,
so let's do a retrospective here. Okay.
Well, we gotta rate the album.
We have to rate the album, and we need to create a scale from -1 to -1 to -5.
Well, I thought 0 to -5.
I thought we decided before this. I thought we decided while we were kind of cutting this that this album is so fucking long. It's like 90 minutes long, and when you did the Farrah Abraham album is like 30 minutes long. So I think it's only fair to give this album 3 Farrah Abrahams.
Yeah, that's a good question. What did you enjoy? What of all the albums we've ranked so far? Where would this go?
I would say this is the worst album since Broken Side for me. As you know, I thought that Farrah Abraham's album was art, and I enjoyed it. And and Return of Bruno was just kind of
meh.
It was kind of meh, kind of it was cheesy,
it was
but
there.
not aggressively.
Right.
Didn't bother me.
It wasn't aggressively anything.
This is an auspiciously bad album.
This album was an ordeal.
This album feels mean. It feels spiteful. It feels fucked up.
And it's just it's so bad in terms of just the broad scope of its ambition.
Yeah.
And like it's so ambitious yet so poorly planned out and poorly executed. Like they're trying so much while giving a fuck so little.
But I feel like there had to be some fucks that were sacrificed to the creation of this album.
Well, they almost got in a street fight and they burst into tears for Junior Dad.
They burst into tears.
Yes, they actually poured their souls into this album. It sounds like, which is crazy because it's so bad.
It
sounds so like no soul.
Don't do this.
You reminded me.
This.
You just made me revisualize a street fight between Lars Ulrich and Lou Reed, and I just imagine. Apart from even looking weird,
really,
I imagine it just
elbows.
Sounds strange.
Yeah,
like
wet.
It just sounds like slices of ham being dropped on a linoleum floor.
I would rather listen to slices of ham being dropped on a linoleum floor for an hour and a half than listen to this fucking album again.
Let's go do that.
All right, so we have to give it a ranking. You gave it 3 Farrah Abrahams, but that's just in terms of length. We what do we want the ranking quantity to be today?
From like what, -5 to -5?
-0 to -5. What?
Somethings.
Wait, one more time.
Something that sums up the album. Like, so for Farrah Abraham, we rated it out of
Bad Decisions.
0
to -5 Bad Decisions.
For Bruno, we rated it out of harmonica solos. And
so what is
Broken Side, we rated it out of like
too tight t-shirts.
Too tight t-shirts or something.
Yeah. So for this one, what is the quantifier that we feel is the most accurate?
I guess I would give this. What's the scale again?
All right,
0
I'm
to
gonna
-5.
make a call on this.
0 to -5
tables.
I want to.
How many tables?
How many tables do you give this album?
No. Nick had something. What was it?
I think I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give this. -3 grandpa underwears. -3 sticky grandpa underwears.
Okay. Well, I'll use Nick's scale. It's accurate. It's what this album feels like.
The general mouth feel of this album is
sticky grandpa underwear.
I am gonna agree with Nick on this one. I'm gonna give it -3 grandpa underwears. It was definitely like the worst album we've done so far. That's the lowest rating I've given so far, other than Broken Side, which got -7,000 extra small t-shirts. This album was really bad and made me hate Metallica and Lou Reed a little bit more, which made me sad because I don't want to. They made some music I really appreciated, and I really didn't appreciate this.
No.
I'm sure I'll hear worse. Broken Side is certainly worse, but it's
really bad.
Bad.
Makes you feel bad. I don't know. I mean, I think you guys summed it up. A -3.
All right,
stained grandpa underwear.
The only reason I want to give it an even lower ranking, and the only reason I'm not is because it kind of works as like if they literally just wanted to say fuck you to people, which I suspect that at least Lou Reed did, and he roped Metallica into it. It works on that level in some ways, but that doesn't. It's because it's unlistenable.
That's keeping it from being like a -4 to me, and the fact that like there are, I'm gonna say, a very few like fingernail scratching amounts of like redeemable moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So I give it -3 monkeys on a typewriter. And so that's that for this week. So next episode, Mike, let's tell the people out there what they can vote on, because you had actually our next episode is going to be a very special episode that we're going to be recording for the Boston Hassle year ender. So we are going to be reviewing the worst songs of the worst albums of the year.
Yep, we're going to have the 10 worst albums of the year as curated by me and Heather.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pick the worst song on each of those albums. We're gonna talk about.
And then we're
gonna
talk about that. And you're gonna have to fucking listen. Yep. We don't want to be shouting into the void. It never stopped me before. So, what are some of the songs that we have or albums that we've thought about so far for it, just to wet their little whistles?
Oh, should I really spoil it, Heather?
Oh, I don't know. Well, actually, you guys can tweet at Make It Stopcast, or you can post on our Facebook page, or find us on Mixcloud, or Podbean, or iTunes, or Google Play, or go to our website, which is not a really nice URL, but it's fine. We'll get there. Eventually, we'll start paying for it. But you can go and tell us what you think the worst songs on the worst albums of the year were. And then,
actually, I could use that. If you guys...
we need your help.
If you've listened to a particularly bad album this year you want us to know about, tweet at us, Make It Stop Cast. Post it on the Facebook.
Make It Stop Podcast. Make It Stop Podcast at gmail.com.
Yep, you can send it to our email. But let me know, because I've made a few determinations. There's some albums that are definitely making the cut. But I'm open to suggestions for some of the other ones. Maybe you know better than me. But I can tell you that certainly making the cut is Weezer's Pacific Daydream, Hollywood Undead's 5, and the Prophets of Rage album. I'll wet your beak with those ones, but we need 7 more.
Yeah, so help us out.
Help us out.
And shout out to the Boston Hassle. Shout out once again, let's thank our guest, Nick Ortolani, comedian, funny guy.
Thanks for having me. This was great.
Thanks,
I'd love to
Nick.
be back.
You're the best. We'll definitely have you back. You have a website?
I do. www.nickortolani.com.
See, he paid for this. He paid for the domain.
I did. And if you go to that website, there's just
Class act.
There's a real crude Google Calendar on the front page that has all my shows. I think there's only one way to end this episode, though, unless you guys have stuff you want to plug.
I got nothing to plug.
Proper way to end this episode is with a rousing rendition of Small Town Girl.
I was just gonna say. I didn't even think you were gonna say it. I thought we were all just gonna silently look at each other and know, because that was where I was going.
My God.
Oh my God. Okay.
You guys.
Small town girl. Small town girl. Goodbye, Stoppies. Goodbye. God bless.